Sidratul has been leading Technovation for a couple of years, and she is the CEO of Youthentic, working to inspire young women to build their confidence in technology. And she has also been nominated for the Diana Award for her work inspiring girls to go into technology entrepreneurship. So we couldn't be more proud and excited to learn more about your journey and what it is like. So, welcome, Sidratul.
Thank you so much.
So let's start by learning a little bit more about what is it like to engage girls in technology entrepreneurship in Bangladesh, and what is the interest like? What do parents think about it?
Yeah, actually, I have started my very first season during pandemic, and it was really a big challenge. I got like negative responses. To be exact, 29 negative responses for my sponsorship. Actually, during COVID, they didn't approve any new sponsorships for us. So I really wanted to include every orphanage and underserved schools this season, but for not having enough resources, I couldn't do that. So I was pretty upset at first with all the negativity around myself, but I then talked to the students for whom I'm working. So their decision or their interest is the most important thing for me. So I've talked to the students and heard about their innovative ideas, and I was actually amazed that such 10 or 11-year-old girls can come up with such an amazing idea which can really help our community. So I talked to their parents. They're also pretty excited. So I started finally.
Yeah, and I think that's my journey too. And even after 15 years, where um, there are other problems in the world, but it's the young people and girls that inspire us and keep us going, right? So so that's incredible that you launched Technovation in during the pandemic. So how has it been for your community to go through COVID?
Actually, in last year, in 2020, when the COVID came first, I think it had tremendously bad impact in our country. Like whenever we turned on the TV, we only saw bad news everywhere. Like people are losing their jobs, and especially been hard for small business owners because now we are stuck in an whole online world. So small business owners don't have Facebook pages or they don't know how to use online platform to promote their products. So they initially had very hard time to do that. So they suffered losses, and also it has disrupted our education system completely. Like before COVID, there was internet in learning in our country was like non-existent for school students. I mean, now teachers are also facing difficulties to operate on online platform, how to operate Zoom or how to take classes on Zoom or Google Meet. Even during COVID, our government also offered classes on national television, but actually more than one third of the children didn't have access to technology or television, so they were left out of this opportunity as well. And students in rural areas who at least could afford some resources, but they had like unstable internet connection, so they couldn't join online sessions. So it's pretty bad for us. But this year, I think compared to the last year, we are getting used to it, and situation is better at least than the
I think for
past year.
everybody, right? Like we suddenly had to learn how to learn from phones and connect like this. Um, so, what did you find as a strategy that is working to keep students engaged online? And I know it's like a there's so many distractions online, and especially to run Technovation, where you have to learn something, code something hard. So, what worked for you?
See, I have seen my students, they actually love interactive learning. I mean,
Mm,
if we use infographics or short animation videos, it really attracts them. And I am saying this from my personal experience that students love acknowledgement for their work. Like
mm,
I first recruited student volunteers to help me recruit students, and I have also provided them crest and certificates for that. So they have done their work with so much dedication. And this is not for students only. I think it works for the adults as well. We all love acknowledgement for our work. So every week I used to announce best team of the week, star kids of the week. So
Mm.
that kept them motivated and very engaged. Like all of them wanted to be on top. So we had like online communication channel of our own, like on Slack or Discord. We use Discord pretty often. I think it's perfect. We have separate channels for separate topics, and we
How
our
did you
text
use
messages.
Discord? How
Yeah,
did
we
how
have
did you,
server.
like
We have
that's the
Discord
first
server.
time.
Yeah.
Um how did you learn about it, and did girls already know about Discord, or did you
No,
introduce them to
no,
it?
they didn't. Yeah, I introduced them to it. They didn't know
Um
about Discord. Actually, I learned about Discord while learning GRE from an US instructor. So he introduced Discord first, and it was really handy for us. So I thought that students could use it to be great, more than Facebook groups or Messenger chat.
yeah,
It seemed
that's so cool.
professional. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So what surprised you?
I think I thought that like for my junior division students, I thought I had to help more in idea developing or had to invest more time on them. But surprisingly, my junior division teams performed better than my senior division teams,
Mm,
and they were so excited. Actually, I was pretty amazed when a 12-year-old kid told me that she wants to do something for the transgender people of our community. And very underrated topic in our country, but a serious issue.
mm,
Transgender people of our country, they beg in the streets or beg for
mm,
money, or sometimes also harass the people for money. So we can do something for them. Be really great.
mm. That's amazing. So that was a junior division girl who came up with that idea.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Very interesting. So I think you're one of the few people who, I mean, even in the world, right? Like, let alone, I'm sure there are not that many in Bangladesh who, young women who have started their own company. So tell us what inspired you to start your own company, and what has been your journey like?
I had this dream since childhood that I want to be an engineer and I want to have my own company. Like when I was 8 or 10 years old, I didn't know what entrepreneurship means, but I wanted to have my own company since very childhood. So I always used to play with electronic stuff more than dolls. There's electronic stuff in my home more than dolls. So I always wanted to. So I have like in 2019 when I was in my final year of undergraduation degree. So I thought that I should start something because that's the year when students look for internship jobs, new opportunities. So I thought at first that I should start my own company. Then I asked my friends, female friends, that if they're interested to become a leader, or like if I ask 30 female people, I think two of them will answer that they want to become technology
Mm,
entrepreneur or be in technology leadership roles. Actually, they want to be leader in their particular field, but not in technology.
mm,
Like we are a female-led nation. Our prime minister
mm,
is female. Our the speaker of the Bangladesh Parliament is female. Our education minister is also female. So everyone dreams to become leaders like them. But when it
mm,
comes to technology, they're having this. They have this fear that they are not competent enough. Like they will fail in this field, and this because they don't actually explore the technology field that well. So I think if young women like Technovation does that, inspires young women. So actually, in our country, like 16 to 18 is the age where we have to decide that which
mm,
particular field we want to pursue. Because when we pursue undergraduate degree, we don't have option to change our major. So if we choose something that doesn't interest us at all, it just doesn't affect our grades, but also affects our mental health as well. So I think doing more workshops, doing more boot camps, certification programs will actually really help the kids to take the decision that which field they are going to pursue. Because if they don't know about technology, they won't explore and they think that that's not for them.
Yeah.
So they will choose another subject without even knowing what's in technology.
Yeah, and also what they can do with that, right? So the application and the entrepreneurship piece is so important, not just learning C++ plus plus and Python, right? Like, but actually being able to solve some relevant problems. So what are some gaps? Oh, so I want to dig deeper into your journey. Like, so did people support you when they heard that you want to start your company? Are there more young women like you in Dhaka who are starting companies? And what are some barriers that you're facing?
Yeah, at first I actually didn't find an investor. I'm still looking for an investor. I actually used my own earning from
Mm,
savings from my salary and started this company. So we are a very small team of like 6 people right now.
that's not that small. but
Yeah,
and is it and how is it like is there are there more startups that are starting now, and where would you get investors from? Yeah.
yeah, we have like Startup Dhaka and other programs. Like our government offers such programs. So I
Mm,
haven't applied yet because I know during COVID, no one's going to give positive response there. So
mm,
I'm waiting for this to be over so I can, you know, find for some investors.
yeah, yeah. um and how many women do you find in the startup space?
I
Do
think
you know if they yeah,
percentage is very less, less than
yeah,
10%, like female-led
yeah,
companies.
yeah, that sounds more like it. um so so what are some gaps that you find for young women to advance in the tech workforce? So you talk about they don't even know what this experience is, that they'll be successful, that this can. So that I think can be addressed from providing programs during school. But
Yeah.
once they are entering the workforce, even though I think Bangladesh is doing much better than other countries where there's female leadership in the government, um, is that leadership, I don't think it's prevalent in industry, right?
I think it's only the thing that I said in the past that they don't explore that much about technology. You know, in our university, when we see that some guys are making robots and we appreciate,
Mm,
okay, they're doing it, but they don't feel like doing that ourselves. We
mm,
can do that ourselves as well. But we think that, okay, this is the thing for a boy and a girl cannot do that because that includes many electronic stuff, many programming, and many microcontroller knowledge. So I have also seen my university girls don't want to take these electronics courses.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think if you don't have confidence, if you don't have skills, then you're not going to uh, advocate for
Yes,
yourself. So Siddharth, I know you yourself have a degree in electrical engineering. So how
electronics.
many women and electronics? And so how many women were there in your class?
We had 212 students in our department. Among them, 36 students were female.
Wow. So you were one of 36. That's impressive.
Yes.
Um, And so what role do you think parents play in this? Because you say, yes, girls don't have the confidence, they don't raise their hand, they don't think that this is for them. But I'm curious, like, what role do parents play in this? And what can we do to help? Like you were saying, there were online classes on national TV. I'm wondering, like, what role does media play in or can we do going forward?
I think the educational organizations actually should call individual students and should ask them what they need. I think the
Mm,
support varies from one student to another. Like for
mm,
students who do not own laptop or computers, I think we can lend them that. And students who have already these things, but being in rural area, they don't have stable internet connection. They cannot
mm,
download the courses they need. I think universities or schools can print out and mail them hard copies
Mm,
of those resources so they can complete their assignments on time. And they can also give emergency funds to students.
mm.
So I think those will help them.
Yeah, and even more so after COVID, right? Where like the situation varies so much. I think the hard part is that in the end, it comes down to more resources everywhere, right? Like being dedicated and more customized support. So I'm hearing over and over again that allow them to use the money as they need it to be, right? Like, so maybe there's a baseline of funding that needs to be given to students. Um, so, what is your advice for education organizations to reach more underserved communities? You mentioned, so have you been working with some of these students and you said you wanted to work with some girls in an orphanage. So, what orphanage is this? Tell us more
I
about
think
this.
I have been living here, like in my present home, for 16 years now. So there's an orphanage in right in front of my home. So I know
Mm,
these people. I grew up with them. So
mm,
I have tried to convince them. Like at first, they are very like excited that they'll learn new things. But when I show them computer, like how to operate it, they get intimidated. So I have to explain them that this thing is good. They can improve their financial situation in future. So I have contributed two computers in that orphanage. So they are learning how to operate computers, because if they don't know how to use computers, I can teach them app development and they can not participate in Technovation. So I'm in my first. I think I'm hopeful that in next season I may be able to include them.
and how old are these girls? Are they
They're
mostly
like,
girls or?
yeah, they're mostly girls.
Mm.
I've seen a new change in Technovation that we can provide this curriculum to boys as well. That's very great. I mean, they cannot
Um,
participate in competition, but
yes,
actually they can
yes.
learn.
Yes, yes. And that has always been the case. The curriculum is completely free online, but they cannot participate in the competition, but you can still of course learn along because it's such a powerful entrepreneurship component. Um how old are the girls in the orphanage on average? You said you've grown up with them, so they must be older now.
Also, yeah, like their new students are also coming. So there's
Mm,
school associated with this orphanage as well.
I see.
So yeah, most of the girls are like 16 to 22 age.
I see. Yeah, and I mean, I think technology skills are the fastest way to increase your financial potential, right? Like earning capabilities. Um, so I love your advice of providing customized support or allowing just asking students what they need. I think they know their situation best. Um, so I want to dig a little bit deeper into the element of how we can. Do you see parents as a barrier to engaging girls in such a program?
No, I
No.
think
Mm,
parents are very supportive. In my case, I talked to every parents, so they were like pretty excited.
mm,
In our country, when a girl is born, parents think that they will become doctors in future,
mm,
and
mm,
if a boy is born, they'll become engineers. So always
mm.
same case. So we are trying to change the situation, and I think the situation is changing. More women are entering the tech workforce.
That's good to hear, though, that even though they're gender roles, they're still strong professional roles. And it's yeah, so that is a step forward. So tell us, like, what is one? I mean, you talked a little bit about this, but what is one story or incident that inspired you and fueled you to keep going last year? I mean, that was your first sort of Technovation year, and you're starting a company, and none of this is easy. So, what kept you going?
I have read a book, The Power of Now, by
Mm.
Eckhart Tolle. Have you read
Mm-hmm.
that?
Yep.
Yes, pretty amazing book, and I recommend this book to almost everyone. I actually finished reading this past year, this book, and really changed the way we think.
Mm.
Yeah. like we should live in the moment. And when I got this kind of negative responses, like some people say that it's nearly impossible to teach young kids virtually for the very first time, like they haven't
Mm.
heard the name app inventor. So I had to do a lot to convince people in that. But the thing that worked for me is the students' passion and their enthusiasm for learning new things. I think when I was 10 years old, I didn't know anything about coding and didn't use any online platform. But they are pretty. This generation is better
Yeah,
than us, I think.
yeah, yeah.
They're thinking of ways how to help the community such at young age. So very inspiring for me as well.
Yeah, for sure. And are you seeing any kind of, as you say, I think that this next generation is very different, right? Like they've kind of grown up with online tools, online methods of connection. Their world is larger because they've connected and seen so many different other organization groups rather than their own region. What role do you see climate playing in what young people care about or students care about? Do you see a change in how compared to our generation or the older generations?
Yeah, actually, they think about the climate change. I think two teams of ours have created app that
Mm-hmm.
fights climate change. They're thinking about recycling plastic and making beautiful crafts and doing business with them. So I think they are more conscious than us, than our
Yeah,
generation.
it's a bigger problem for sure. So, last question for you, Sidratul. So, what should we be working on with intention this year? Your advice to us.
I think what this COVID has taught us in uncertainty in life. Actually, we don't know when and what will happen. So we cannot control that. How long will it take for us to get to a post-COVID world? So what we can do is to choose to live with the things, by pursuing the things that give us purpose and meaning in our life. In that process, we improve our health, well-being, and resilience, and we appreciate every little thing we have in our life.
That's a very powerful statement. Appreciate the now, right? What we have, and and help others to do that too. So, this was awesome, Siddharth. Such an inspiring journey, and so much more that lies ahead. And thank you for making us part of your life, and for inspiring and supporting girls to be all that they can be. So thank you, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Next week we have Teresa from Fawe, and she will be talking about how they engage African women mentors across all of Africa to support young women. So, thank you everyone, and have a great weekend.